Hello and welcome. Today I'm joined by Victor Cruz, who's the president of Logical Solutions, President of Logical Solutions Services. Victor and I have done business together. Victor, how are you?
I'm doing well, Phil. How are you today?
Very good. Victor, I forget, how old is your father?
Dad is 87.
Right, and he's there with you now, is in the office, is that right?
Dad's with me today. It's only him and I in the office. Dad finally had the opportunity to get out of the house and come join me at the office and just get away from being locked up for the last 2.5 months at home.
So, Victor, Logical Solutions is in the domestic and international shipping business. Let's talk a little bit about international shipping. How is the pandemic impacted international shipping?
These are uncharted waters for the vast majority. The industry has gone through some challenging times. Terminal closure, warehouse closure, customers. I mean, this is something we've never seen. We have freight being held up all over the world. It's terrible times and tough times for many customers.
Now, are there demurrage charges? Charges levied because the cargo can't be shipped?
Some charges were waived for a particular period of time, depending on where in the world your cargo is stuck at. But for the most part, detention charges from the carrier was waived, but demurrage from the terminal was not waived by many in many countries. So customers who did not have the ability of getting access to their cargo have been stuck paying ridiculous amounts of money, and many cargo has been abandoned as a result of this.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Including medical equipment?
On the medical side, we're not at the abandonment stage yet. However, we have cargo stuck in many countries: India, Africa, Poland, just stuck. That haven't moved. Eventually, I mean, listen, the problem, it eventually gets to a matter of dollars and cents. At some point, the storage charges and the delays outweigh the cargo value.
Now, experience has taught me that sometimes when medical equipment sits idle for a long time, it rusts or moisture builds up or it's damaged. What happens in that event?
Again, depending on the value, if in a situation like that where the cargo, these are untested waters, when we file an insurance claim, we're going to find out how that's going to be handled. Under normal circumstances, that would be covered. I don't know now if that's covered by insurance.
So you really are in, pardon the pun, uncharted waters in this case.
Really, it really is. I mean, these are uncharted waters for a lot of people.
What about?
I have cargo. I have 70 containers of motor oil in the Middle East that have been sitting there for now 3 months. At no fault of the customer, everything closed down just like we did, and the cargo is just sitting there. It just started getting released 2 weeks ago. We've started to receive some of the reports. Some of these are jugs of motor oil that, with the heat and the weight of the cargo having sat for so long, have crumbled and have damaged now the containers. So we've now started the process of ordering surveyors to go look at this and see how they're going to handle this claim.
What about air freight? Are there similar problems in the air freight side of the business?
Air freight has probably taken the worst hit. Severe capacity reductions, as we're all aware, on the personal side, but on the commercial side, even greater. Huge demands from especially China to the U.S. and the world for the PPE products. Massive delays. Freight rates have increased from a few dollars a kilo to excess of $25 a kilo. Just a matter of supply and demand. If you want to get on that plane first, you were paying. And it's unfortunate they have taken advantage of the situation. So in addition to paying for a mask that used to cost cents, you're paying quadruple, if not more, on the transportation.
Now, are your customers sympathetic, or do they blame you, or do they understand?
No, they're not sympathetic. They're not blaming us. They're not sympathetic. They're understanding that this is the reality that we're dealing with. The unfortunate part of a lot of this has been that a lot of unscrupulous companies have come out of the woodwork, and I've been involved in seeing customers that have made purchases, sent thousands and thousands of dollars for purchases or for freight, including freight charges, and didn't get the freight, didn't get the cargo, got nothing, and now there's no one to answer to on the other side.
Yes.
We went from waiting. We had some customers that waited so long to get cargo on a plane to putting it on a ship, and those customers who made those decisions, even though the transit time was 3 weeks, ended up getting their freight quicker than those that continued to wait to get on a plane.
Interesting. So when you look into your crystal ball, what do you see in the future?
The supply and demand, listen, this is a global economy. The global economy will not recover, in my opinion, overnight. It will take some time. Carriers have taken it upon themselves to reduce capacity in every market. By doing so, they've been able to control and keep pricing at levels higher than last year. I think eventually this will all loosen up, and pricing will not reduce, but it will be more consistent than it is now. The biggest problem I think we're facing is not necessarily the pricing, because if everybody's the same price, the freight will move. The problem is just getting space on either a plane or a ship. Because of the lack of capacity right now, there is no space. You're waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get on a ship right now. That used to be a weekly sailing. So that, I think, is the biggest challenges that we're going to face moving forward, is getting space on a ship. Moving cargo quickly will require more planning than ever before. Picking up the phone and saying, okay, it's ready, get it on next week's ship, it's not going to happen. You got to plan, you got to make your booking in advance to get on that ship.
I see. Well, that's so your advice for your clients are give me as much notice as possible.
Oh, absolutely. And, a lot of customers have gotten spoiled with, the shipment. I just got the money in, it's ready, get it out of here. I want it out. It's not going to happen. Or it's the end of the month and I need to get this out of the warehouse before the end of the month. Those days I don't think are going to come by for a while.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's some very interesting insight. You, of course, have many years' experience in this field, and your comments are really going to be helpful. So I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Phil. I'm glad to hear that you're all doing well. And stay safe, stay positive, and be prepared to change, because things will continue to change, not only in our industry, but I think in every industry.
You want to let
the new norm is going to take some time.
You want to let your dad say hello?
Dad, come on in. You wait, come on. Come over here, say. Say hello to Phil Jacobus. Be careful walking around.
Okay.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
That had problem with his vision, so he might not be looking straight at you.
Okay.
Say hello. Say hello to Phil Jacobus, a dear friend.
Mr. Jacobus, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Cruz. How are you?
Good. Thank God for that.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be seen by you. It's an honor to be seen by you.
Same here.
Okay.
Phil, thank you so much, and God bless, brother.
Victor, you're a beautiful man, and thank you very much for joining me.